Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? What's going on? This is the Reparations Movement month, Reparations month. And we on part number 11 of the real reparations movement, man. And we ain't going to waste no time. Y'all know what it is. This is Thoughts of the Week podcast. You're rocking with the best thoughts of the week. Let's get it. You're rocking with the best thoughts of the week podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Thoughts of the Week podcast. And yeah, we into part number 11 of the reparations movement, man. All right. And we ain't going to waste no more of your time. We're going to get right into it so you guys can pick up some more games, some more information. And so you know what's going on and keep informed and knowing what's going on when it comes to the real reparations movement. All right. So with that being said, man, let's get into it. Let's roll that video.
All good, guys? We good on this side? We good over here? All right, now coming to the stage, we have one of our DMV sisters. She was in a couple of my movies. She's in the new movie that we have coming out called American Maroon, coming out in a couple of months. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dr. Maat. Give it up for Dr. Maat.
All right, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, FBA, make some noise. Giving all praises to the Creator and the ancestors, for we are our ancestors and we stand on their shoulders. Ashe. Love and honor and gratitude to Brother Tariq Nasheed. Let's give it up for Brother Tariq Nasheed. And all of the grassroots organizations for raising awareness around the issue of reparations for foundational Black Americans and for mobilizing our people to demand what is rightfully ours. But before I give my spill, I gotta address the elephant in the room. FBA is not a hate group. FBA is a lineage. FBA is a lineage that we are proud of and that we will protect and advocate for. So to my brothers and sisters on the continent and throughout the diaspora, FBA is no different from you recognizing your Yoruba lineage, or your Ashanti lineage, or your Akan lineage, or your Bamaliki lineage. And so if you truly are our brothers and sisters, then you will support us and align yourselves with us instead of aligning yourself with the dominant society when you come over here. Dr. Sandy Darity, in his book From Here to Equality, Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century, he defines reparations as a program of acknowledgement, redress, and closure for grievous injustices. So reparations isn't a handout. It is given to rectify harm. And although all other groups have received reparations for the harm done to them, when we demand reparations, the dominant society frames the demand as if we are asking for a handout from the federal government. Well, so-called whites have been given, so-called whites have been given handouts since the human category was invented after the Bacon Rebellion in 1676. See, whiteness is an invention. There's no such thing as a white person. And after the Bacon Rebellion, this government passed a package of laws that gave psychological and material value to those who were classified as white. And these laws gave patriarchal authority to white men. It gave power to white men. And it disempowered people who were classified as non-whites. In Dr. Amos Wilson's book, Blueprint for Black Power, how many of you have Blueprint for Black Power? Blueprint for Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson. That book should be in every black home. In that particular book on page, I believe it was 34 or 36, he lists all of the handouts that whites have been given from 1675 to 1975. White people have been given handouts for 300 years plus. All right, and so from 1683 to 1889, the federal government passed acts and ordinances that gave lands to whites. Specifically, the Homestead Act, which was passed in 1862, it granted settlers 160-acre tracts of federal lands without charges. Over 250 acres of public lands were transferred almost exclusively to whites in the most important land program in American history. In the book, The Hidden Cost of Being African American by Thomas Shapiro, we learned that over 1 million whites today still live off of the wealth that they incurred from the Homestead Act alone. From 1920 to 1975, our federal government, they passed the Mineral Leasing Act, which authorized the federal government to lease public land for the exploration of gas, oil, and other minerals. In 1926, they passed the Federal Air Commerce Act, where they gave licenses to qualified aviators. So you wonder why we don't have black-owned airlines. Your government made sure we didn't have black-owned airlines. All right, and the Federal Communication Commission, they issued the first licenses for television broadcast stations, and no grants were made to Negroes. This is Dr. Amos Wilson's language. He says Negroes until token awards in the late 1960s and 1980s. So family, you wonder why we don't have black-owned television networks, because your government designed it to be that way. And so Dr. Amos Wilson's list does not include the New Deal policies that were passed under the Roosevelt administration, right? I'm talking about the FHA loans and the VA loans, which created a white middle class. All right? And so while they were creating a white middle class, we were confined to ghettos. We were redlined and confined to ghettos. Ghettos are a government creation. And so this government has been complicit in putting us at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy. So it is the government that needs to fix this problem. Ashe? Man, we were enslaved. I mean, there's so many receipts, family. I mean, we could talk about enslavement, how we grew cash crops, you know, sugar, rice, cotton, and tobacco, which led to the growth and expansion of America. We fought in all of the wars. Hell, we helped white folks win their independence while we were still over here fighting for ours. We suffered numerous massacres. I know they like to shine a light on Tulsa, Oklahoma, but there were hundreds of black communities that they destroyed, which destroyed black lives, black properties, black businesses, and black wealth. All right, and so some people may say, well, Dr. Maat, well, what about today? Well, let's bring it up to today. They've murdered and falsely imprisoned our freedom fighters, free movement. Let me hear y'all say, free movement, all political prisoners. Free movement and all political prisoners. Ashe. Mass incarceration, police violence and killings, discrimination in housing and employment and credit markets, poorly resourced schools. All of these things, these laws, policies, and practices created a racial hierarchy that has placed so-called whites at the top and FBA at the bottom. We have been locked out of the American dream that they tell us it's so easy to get. Isn't that what America does? They project this image to the world. Just come to America and anybody can achieve the American dream, while they lock foundational black Americans out, and we are the people who built America. But no more, family, no more. We will no longer beg for a seat at their table. We're gonna build our own goddamn table. Just cut the check. Let me hear you say, cut the check. Cut the check. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we are coming to get our check. And this time, it better not come back insufficient funds. It better not come back insufficient funds. And FBA, never mind the naysayers, FBA. Never mind the detractors. You just keep your eyes on the prize. You hear me? And we will be victorious. Ask me, how do I know? Say it louder. How do you know, Dr. Maat? Because our ancestors said so. You remember when Dr. King said he went to the mountaintop and he saw that promised land? Our ancestors said so. So I want to hear you say, we will win. We will win. Just keep the faith, family. Keep the fight. Black power.
Times close, I whittle them down. Stick it to them by sticking around. The gang all out. Iwo Jima got one flag and it's sticking the ground. Setting up shop. Think I got the message across. Came for the titles and
hey, what's up? We still out here, I think 5 hours now at this point. I'm here with one of my favorites. If y'all don't know him, Google him. Spoken Reasons.
How you doing?
Good. How have you been?
I've been all right. I'm hot, but I'm blessed to be here though.
I'm super shocked because I've known him for years, and I'm super surprised to see him down here. What made you say, I have to be at this rally?
It's history in the making. I mean, I didn't want to miss out. You know, I don't know when we gonna actually get this check, but I know at the same time I got to be a part of everything. So I want to be able to tell my kids and tell my my family that I was actually here for it. So I was fighting in the cause. I actually using my legs to walk. So I'm here.
So why do you think that foundational Black Americans, why do you think it's so hard for us to get reparations? And they've given it to every other group. Why don't they want to give it to us specifically?
Because we have all the power. We have all the power. We have, they didn't steal from us from nothing, for nothing. So, you give us a check, then see what we do with it.
So I have a couple questions for you.
Okay, no problem.
Why do you think that foundational Black Americans deserve reparations?
Okay, I have like a number of list of things, but I'm going to numerize it down to a little bit. I'm going to minimize it. I believe that we basically earned it. And like I said before, I don't feel like this is something that we need to earn. I feel like this should just come natural to us because we have built the country. And a lot of people get that confused. It's like, oh, you came later, you're not foundational Black American. But we are FBA, foundational, the most important part. We were here first, and that part I feel like is the most important part. So I feel like that is a very, 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 very big part. We really deserve that. We really deserve that because it is ours. And I feel like we deserve land, we deserve money, we deserve everything. And I feel like they should be paying us, like when you get like foreigners and stuff like that. And I like to visit to other places too. So I'm not saying don't come here, I'm just saying pay us.
Guarantee of non-repetition.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is Reparations Movement Part 11. And Dr. Maat brought us some very good points, man. One of them being that reparations is not a handout, all right? It is not a handout. It's something that is owed to the people who actually built this country for a long time and did not receive anything in return for it, all right? It just helped build up the economy of the U.S., and that was it. And everybody took all the resources. Okay, so that was one point there. And she also brought up the book Blueprint for Black Power, and page 34, 35, 36, somewhere in there, it brings up, that's the Amos Wilson book, where he brings up from like 300 years worth of handouts that the government is given to the people in the dominant society. Right, and shows you what was really handed out, who it was handed out to, and who it wasn't handed out to. All right. Also, we also know that FBA is a lineage and not a hate group. You're going to find a lot of people that's going to go around and try to deem us as a hate group, to try to get us involved with the FBI and CIA and stuff like that. And it's very clear it's a lineage of people, just like you have lineages all across the globe. All right, you got Spanish lineages, you got Ukrainian lineages, you got Jewish lineages. So we are no different. We are a lineage. We're not a hate group, not a political party, not a political group. All right. And also mentioned is that we, as foundational Black Americans, we fought in every war. All right. We fought in every single war that America had. All right. It's very rarely mentioned. You always got to look up Black history to find out information in regards to that. Right. So those are a few points that were very important that Dr. Maat brought out. So you guys let me know what you think about that. All right. As we continue on, we're going to be going into part 12, all right, of the real reparations movement. This is what the real reparations movement should look like. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. Be sure to comment, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to keep it moving, man. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. We out. Peace. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast.
Sorry.